Some ex-FBI agents are warning Trump's retribution tour is escalating and damaging the agency. This week, at least 2 top FBI officials have been ousted, including senior official Brian Driscoll, who previously served as acting FBI director. Earlier this year, he refused to turn over a list of agents who worked on January 6 cases. Driscoll says he received no explanation for his firing. It's an obvious pattern. Just days ago, a federal agency launching a probe into former special counsel Jack Smith after a hard-right GOP senator complained about Smith. Politico calling it, quote, a thinly veiled political stunt aimed at placating the president. Today, we learned the DOJ is opening a grand jury probe into New York Attorney General Tish James over whether she violated Trump's civil rights in her case against the Trump Organization. Remember, both Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel testified that there was no enemies list.
There will never be an enemies list within the Department of Justice.
It's been referred to as an enemies list. You've called them deep state.
It's not an enemies list. That is a total mischaracterization.
The FBI Agents Association condemning the recent firings, quote, agents are not given the option to pick and choose their cases. If these agents are fired without due process, it makes the American people less safe. Agents need to be focused on their work and not on potentially being illegally fired based on their assignments. Joining me now is Chris Maddie, former federal corruption prosecutor. He recently represented the FBI Agents Association in a suit against the DOJ over sharing names of agents involved in the January 6th probe. Thank you for joining us this evening. This hits me at a bunch of different levels. First off, let's just talk in the grand scheme of things. How dangerous is it for the functionality of the FBI to have agents worried that they could be prosecuted, fired, possibly jailed by the next administration for any case they work on if the new administration doesn't like it?
Well, the last thing you want is for FBI agents to be taking political considerations or concerns about how they may be treated in the future into account when they're conducting their investigations. But far more dangerous than that is the decades of experience that are being sent aside from the FBI today. And let me just give you one example. Brian Driscoll was walked out today to the applause of hundreds of his colleagues. This is a gentleman who has served for decades in the FBI. He coordinated critical response around the country. He led hostage recovery teams, including serving in a combat mission in Syria, where he was awarded the Medal of Valor, the Shield of Bravery in another instance. He had the highest number of arrests and convictions of child predators and human traffickers when he was a supervisory agent in Long Island. And this is the man that was fired today, along with others with similar records of exemplary service. When you remove people from the field like that, you make my family less safe, you make your family less safe, and all because the people in charge wanted to take out petty political revenge against innocent career servants who have done nothing but follow their oath, follow the law, and do their duty. It is disgusting, and it has made all of us less safe.
Chris, I want you to play some sound of someone who echoes your concerns. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, he has been complaining about this purge as well. I want to get your thoughts on the other side of this sound.
The threat assessment we have right now across the world, to lose that many agents and then take a year to year and a half to try to replace them, is incredibly dangerous for our national security. And for what? Because they did their jobs.
Chris, this is the thing, and I want you to sort of go into more detail on this, but the loss of institutional knowledge is huge, right? These people were still working. They're being fired while there are cases ongoing. So they can't share with their colleagues anymore. They can't use their colleagues anymore. They can't use contacts to help keep us safe. If Chris Christie recognizes this, do you think there are other Republicans? Is there anybody in this administration who's like, wait a minute, this keeps us unsafe? Or do you think that the pettiness and the venality of the Trump administration has completely superseded any real concerns for American safety?
I'm sure that there are Republicans in Congress and elsewhere who see what's happening to our law enforcement capabilities and are deeply concerned. The question is whether they will do anything about it. Right now, you have in positions of leadership in the FBI and the Justice Department people who have never worked in the trenches in law enforcement, people who don't understand the principles and values that drive the men and women of the FBI every day. You take this clown car with Bondi and Blanche and Emil Bove and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. They're not fit to tie a guy like Brian Driscoll's shoes. But they're the ones who are making decisions. And as I pointed out, they're not making decisions based on what's in the best interest of the country at all. If they were, they would be promoting somebody like Brian Driscoll. They would be promoting others who we understand are being let go today. And it's shameful. And I really just want to emphasize the point here that when you let people like this leave government service who have dedicated themselves to protecting this country and who served as examples to other agents who are coming up, not only do you handicap our ability to protect our country, but you demoralize the workforce. Guys who've been looking up to these folks are now being punished for doing their jobs the right way. It makes it very, very difficult to have an organization that we need operating at full capacity every day to keep us safe.